Hi Leo, welcome to your March 2025 AstroTarot with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. But remember, if you're only going to watch one of these, make sure it's for your ascendant sign because it's going to be the most accurate for you on that day-to-day level. Now, with that said, remember, whenever I'm talking about astrology, we're using whole sign tropical house system and the Western system. Now, with that said, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. They help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So this week, should I say this month, we are going to be starting also I wanted to mention, if ever I don't mention the dates for the transits, remember you'll be able to find those in the description of the video, and then obviously outside of that you'll also be able to find the degrees as well. So if ever I miss those or you think, oh, I didn't get that, don't panic, it will be there somewhere. All right, so for your the first transit that I want to explore for you, or should I say for us, because as many of you know, I am a Leo ascendant myself. Venus begins her retrograde in your 9th house, right? So Venus for you rules your 3rd house of communications, conversations, and your skill set. It also and siblings as well, and it also rules your 10th house of your career, right? Your social status, how you meet the world, or how the public sort of views and sees you. Now, your 9th house is about learning, beliefs, your belief system, long distance travel, foreign cultures, different lands. It's also about, when I say higher learning, this is like university level. Now, the other way that this can also show up is as teachers, mentors, coaches, gurus, anybody that you consider has an extensive knowledge of something that can teach you would be somebody that would be represented by your 9th house. So Leo, this invites you to really reassess what inspires you, and more importantly, how you are expanding your perspective and your worldview at this moment in time. Like, are your beliefs aligned with your current goals? It's a chance for you to really revisit old dreams, explore old ideas. For some of you, this may even be a time where you decide to go back to school, right? Where there's something that you want to learn, maybe something that you want to take to a whole new level. It's time for you to take it to that next level. I wouldn't be surprised actually, because you've had, you know, certainly up until this point, there's been a lot of 9th house activation. So, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if, and as we go into, you know, as we move forward, and then the sun's going to come into this space and illuminate all of this, I wouldn't be surprised if there's something around learning, or you decide to really knuckle down and focus on something new. Now, remember as well, your 9th house also represents publishing. It's how you reach the world in those bigger or sort of larger ways. Venus also for you rules that 3rd house of communications, as I said. It's possible that a career-centered glow-up of some sort might be going through the process, as it were. It is encouraging you to refine the aesthetic of your work, maybe the message as well, like what's important around it. So the message, the 3rd house, and you know the career, or even the aesthetic, because it's the 10th house, right? So whatever people are seeing of you, you want to make sure that the aesthetic is absolutely on point. And I will say, remember, whenever Venus goes retrograde, it's really not the time to be making big, drastic appearance changes, right? Where you're doing something wild with your hair, or getting a tattoo, or, you know, having some kind of body alteration or whatever. It's just not the time for it. Something usually goes wrong, or it just doesn't look the way that you want it to look, right? So wait until after this. Like, if you can, I would probably wait until like April the 18th. After then, you've got the go-ahead. You might feel drawn to bring an old skill or talent or project back into the fold, or take it off the back burner, as I like to say. It could expand your reach or help you elevate your public image in some regard, but that's going to be over time, right? Remember as well, because it's going to retrograde back into Pisces and then come back into Aries later. For this, you've got the 10 of Pentacles, bodes very well for you, with the 3 of Cups. So this is a reconnection to somebody from your past that can help you build your legacy. Now, with this, you've got the 3 of Cups with the 2 of Wands. This is a reconnection or a reunion with what you would consider a power player, or somebody that has, you know, somebody that can really help you amplify your own reach. I love this for you, especially because it feeds directly into the preparation that you need to do in order to create or regenerate your legacy in some way. This is actually very exciting because, and remember, even though Venus isn't necessarily money itself, Venus is a money planet and it does bring blessings. So this is some kind of support, help, input, etc., that comes from someone who really can only help you, you know, take things to a whole new level. That's very, very exciting. I've got an idea of how that might play out for me, so exciting times. Now, on the 12th of the month, so that's on the 2nd of March. On the 12th of the month, the Sun is going to come into a conjunction with Saturn. So Saturn for you rules your partnerships, relationships, significant contracts and one-to-ones. It also rules your 6th house of your physical health and vitality. Now, the Sun obviously is you, and at this point it will be in the sign of Pisces, in your 8th house. This is you aligning with Saturn, right? You're getting a deeper, more transformative, shared resource orientated, or, you know, maybe even a primal connection is being highlighted for you. It's bringing a much more serious tone to matters involving partnerships, you know, your shared finances or big resources. This is debts, mortgages, loans, taxes, you know, it can even be inheritances. You might feel called to really think about any lingering issues around trust, around shared responsibilities, and especially around resources. Saturn it demands commitment, right? Saturn wants the sweat. And I said this in another video, I can't remember who it was that I said it for, but Saturn's where you have to put a little bit of stank on it. You understand that? Like, Saturn doesn't mind smelly or old, or, you know, it's kind of like, yeah, I've been it kind of reminds me of, like, I don't know if you see in, you know, like the runners, when you see the shoes that they train in, they're just absolutely fucking hammered, like trashed. And yet they will wear them over and over again, right? And the reason being is because it's not about how I look. It's about what I do. Am I showing up? Am I doing what needs to be done in order to see the results? That's what Saturn represents. The discipline, the determination, the focus, the hard work and commitment to the results. That's when Saturn will pay you out. Right? So this is a time for you to create a lasting foundation around partnerships, around your financial future and your plans. It could potentially force you to really think about dedicating yourself to a long-term vision by figuring out what kind of habits and practices on a daily level are going to build up to the financial or the emotional picture that you're really looking for. Remember, the 8th house is intimacy as well. How's your love life? How is your relationship? How is your boudoir, darling? Right? What does that look like? Are you making time for intimacy? Are you building that into your days? You know, there's a lot of people out here talking about their relationships. Oh, I'm in a drought. Ain't nobody, you know, this bedroom ain't getting none. Well, what are you doing on a daily level to make that be a thing? Right? How are you weaving that into your day? Now, as if that wasn't enough, Mars is going to be sending positive energy to this Saturn Cazimi from your 12th house, right? This is, yes, it's emotional fortitude and inner strength to navigate the deeper waters with grace, but it's also a time for you to really think about the work that you do now, that you infuse with, yes, a sense of spirituality, but more importantly, with a sense of true purpose. That is where you're going to see the results, right? This is where you're going to find the internal courage or the internal grit to make it happen. And it may be that you have to really delve deep into your own psyche to figure out what it is that you're afraid of and what it is that you're afraid of in terms of your own success. for this, you got the Knight of Wands. Good. I'm glad to see it, Leo, right? You've got something to fight for, and more importantly, you feel like you've got something to prove. Very often, not always, but very often, Leo people, Sun, Moon or Ascendant, when they feel like their reputation is on the line or they feel like they've got something to prove, they tend to perform a little better. You've got this with the Seven of Swords, okay? So you've got to watch out for the lies that you tell yourself on that inner level. This is a transit that's really asking you to check your self-talk, right? Your self-talk, how you talk to yourself, whether you put yourself down, whether you build yourself up, whether you can still hear an ex's words in your head about how you're never going to achieve anything without them, or an old teacher who told you you'd never amount to anything, or, you know, that fucking, I don't know, idiot that you worked with that said you're always going to be broke or whatever. If you've got somebody else's voice in your head, this is going to highlight it. And when you figure out where that is coming from and you realize that it's all bullshit, you'll be able to finally move forward, right? So come on, Leo, you got it. You absolutely got it. Let's go. As if that wasn't enough. On the 20th of the month, it's a slightly longer video this time and more transits because, to be honest with you, when I was picking the transits for this month's videos, there were like 12 and I was like, no, there's no way, because this is it's gonna be like over an hour for each video. Nobody's gonna watch it. And I know there's gonna be someone in the comments that like, I would have watched that, and I'm sure you would have, lovely. But the problem is, because not many people would have watched it for long, it damages your algorithm. So unfortunately, in some way, shape or form, we're all slave to the algorithm, right? So on the 20th, you're going to have, on the 18th even, you're going to have the Sun come into a conjunction. This is you, again, in this 8th house, but coming into a conjunction with the North Node. This is about destiny that's tied to transformation, renewal, rebirth, regeneration in some way. This is your moment to get your phoenix on. And I will tell you, this is the first of 2 that you will ever have, certainly for the next 18 years, right? So you haven't had this transit, Sun conjunct the North Node in Pisces, for 18 years. You're not going to, you're only going to have one more before the North Node moves out of Pisces and into the Aquarius Leo axis. Deep joy. So looking forward to it. Now, which I kind of am in a lot of ways. The last time the nodal axis hit Aries and Leo, some incredible things happened for me. So I am kind of excited about it, but I'm also a bit like, you know, I thought we'd get a break. So this could manifest as an opportunity to heal a long-standing wound, to deepen a partnership or a relationship or an intimate connection. It could help you align your resources with a greater sense of purpose. It could also amplify your ability to pull in money on a bigger or a larger scale in some regard. So very, very nice. The transit might also bring a fated connection with someone who's really got the potential to change your life in a profound kind of way. I wouldn't be surprised as well if this is like a business partner, a mentor, maybe even a romantic connection. The energy feels significant. It feels like it's transformative. It feels like it's opening up something big, and it's because, you know, that work that we've had to do with Saturn conjunct the Sun, where some kind of wound or fear has been illuminated to us. Now with the North Node, it's like, okay, now that I understand what has been holding me back about myself, let me dig deep and start making a move that is actually going to present me with what it is that I truly want in my life when it comes to these things. Since the 8th house is an occult house as well, this might be where you start to unlock new information through tarot, astrology, numerology, the I Ching, human design. All of these things could really start performing very well for you at this point. And if you're studying these things, well, you know, this could be a very profound time for you indeed. More on that shortly. Now, on the 20th, as if that wasn't enough, On the 20th of the month, we've got the Sun conjunct Neptune. This is so it's also in Pisces, also in the 8th house. This is the last time that you're going to have this transit. Why? Because Neptune is going to come into Aries shortly, then it's going to reverse back into Pisces, but by the time it gets out of Pisces, the Sun will have already travelled, and it will then be that Neptune is in Aries full time, which means this is the last time Neptune and the Sun will Cazimi in the sign of Pisces. You've had about 14 of these over your lifetime so far. This is the last one you're going to have, right? Sun and Neptune in your 8th house in the sign of Pisces. It's really asking you to find a sense of surrender and release, right? To really let go of old fears, old patterns, to transcend them, or as they say, let go and let God, right? What you know is bigger than you, that you can't carry anymore, that you're exhausted from carrying. Wherever you've been on the struggle bus when it comes to your money, when it comes to your, not living situation, but when it comes to your money, when it comes to your relationship status, when it comes to your intimate life, when it comes to, your ability to utilize and follow your intuition. That's the problem. A lot of people are very intuitive, but they ignore it. The only times, and I mean the only times I have ever got into serious hot water or trouble is when I ignored my intuition, right? Every time that I follow it, I guarantee you it's never once. I can never once look back in my life and say, I trusted my gut on that and it led me down the wrong path. Your intuition is God. Wake up. It's the part of you that's trying to keep you safe and keep you living life on terms that you enjoy, that you love. Listen to your inner guidance. The alignment of the Sun and Neptune is going to offer a vision of what is possible to you when you really embrace your personal vulnerability. This is Pisces after all. When you trust what is unfolding for you. And it's also going to help you find a profound sense of spiritual energy, or a wave of energy that washes over you and flows into your life, creating opportunities for healing, right? Bringing a time where your psychic and your healing and your spiritual guide is coming forward to help you in some way, shape or form. Now, that being said, remember this is Neptune that we're talking about. It can blur the boundaries. It can create illusions. It can over-idealize a situation, right? See things as they are. Listen to your spirit at this time. And as I say, because it's the last time that you're having this, I think this is going to be where Neptune effectively, although it's very different to Saturn, I do wonder if when it leaves, it's going to leave you a lasting gift of your intuitive power. For this, you've got the Three of Swords. It may come with an end, right? There's no getting around this. It's the 8th house. The 8th house in its deepest expression is death, the end, the completion. You've got this with the Page of Swords, and you've got this with the Magician card, right? What you let go of now, that Three of Swords, what you let go of, what you acknowledge that you are ready to hand over to the cosmos, to release, to be rid of, whatever the case might be, no matter how much it hurts in the heart, whatever you release at this time is the trade-off for your personal power to come directly into your hands. The 8th house represents power. Power control dynamics is the 8th house. Whatever you are willing and able to hand over and to let go of at this time, this is how you gain your personal power. Take it or leave it, do what you want with it. I only ever deliver the messages. Now, the last transit that I want to explore for you on the 31st of the month, Neptune is going to move into Aries. This is the first time we have seen this in our lives, right? Neptune coming into the 9th house of spirituality. The 9th house brings a more spiritual and idealistic tone to that Neptune. Your quest for knowledge and adventure. You might be drawn to these things at the moment. You might want to study something at a more philosophical level, right? So like me, I'm a tarot reader, I'm an astrologer, I'm a numerologist, I'm an energy worker. This may be where it's like, okay, well, I've got the skills and I know how to do readings and I've got all of that. Let me learn the deeper stuff behind this. Let me learn more of the spiritual science behind how it works, why it works, and what it does. It's actually, even though it's not one of those houses in particular, this could actually be a really great time to begin a research project, especially if you're allowing your intuition to lead that project. The transit marks a time where your like spiritual wisdom and insight are reaching a whole new level, right? You might find yourself becoming a more global citizen at this time. Remember, the ninth house is foreign lands, distant cultures, different backgrounds. You might connect with people all over the world. And Neptune is the higher octave, well, it's said to be the higher octave of Venus. So this could be a time where you start but not only becoming more of a global citizen, but you start stepping into a role of guidance and inspiration and support for others, and becoming the thing or the person around which change happens. You could be finding that you're building new connections, right? Neptune is a principle of water. Well, water connects everything, right? It's a natural spiritual lubricant. Neptune is dreams and visions, right? But it can also blur the lines. So find a way to keep this grounded. Dream big, but take meaningful steps forward and trust your intuition along the way. For this, you've got the Queen of Cups. Trust your intuition along the way, Leo. You've got the Four of Cups. Listen to what your feelings are telling you. And then you've got the Judgment card, which is telling you that this is a brand new era. It's a brand new era of your life. You can go back to what you've always known and get the same results that you've always had, or you can walk forward in a completely brand new way and embrace those changes whilst following your intuition and the breadcrumbs that the universe delivers to you time and time again to keep you moving forward. This is a really powerful time for you guys. And you know what I love about that Neptune and all of the other energies of Saturn and Neptune moving into Aries? Okay, fine. It's maybe not necessarily the greatest sign for them to be in, but bam, look at that. Bam, look at that. This is going to start to activate you in a trine. So you're going to start to feel the beneficial energies of these planets. You're going to start to feel how they can start to work for you and with you instead of against you. Now, with that said, if you've ever wanted to study tarot with little old me, if you want to spend 12 weeks, that's 12 live classes. You get live client demos, you get live client practice. You'll practice so much that you'll be like, okay, I'm ready to do this now. On top of that, you also get a bunch of PDFs, you get bonus videos. Trust me, it's a very comprehensive course, which I'm very, very proud of creating. It will take you from beginner to intermediate level and beyond. So I'm very excited about that. Now, also, because a lot of you live in different countries and different time zones, and a lot of you say to me, Raf, I can't be there every week on a Sunday, I've got a family, or, you know, I work on Sundays, or whatever the case might be. Well, I got you covered. This time round, I have created a Teach Yourself Tarot course. It's still me, it's still the same course content, but it's fully recorded. You do this in your own time at your own pace. So you can still get access to studying with me and you can learn tarot. And look, if we've talked about anything here, you are aware that this is definitely a time for you to enhance your life with some kind of learning. Now, for on the 14th of the month, we've got the new full moon lunar eclipse in the sign of Virgo. This is in your second house. Now, it could be that this is illuminated, well, it's definitely illuminating your finances, your values, your self-worth. It's also bringing a clarity to your financial situation, or maybe it reveals an insight into how you're managing or mismanaging your resources. Are your financial decisions supporting your goals or your values? This is a time to refine it. And whenever the second 8th house axis is activated, it's a chance for you to balance your material and emotional security, but it's also a time for you to think about what is worth the effort and the time or not, as it may be. This is it's just a really interesting moment for sure. So for this, you've got the gate 64 and confusion. Well, this is the first eclipse in the second house since around 2015. And the last time, that was the north node. This is the south node. A revenue stream might be phased out for you. It could also be that you're replacing a revenue stream with something that you feel is more important. It could also be that the gains, or should I say the money that you're earning, or the savings that you have, or the possessions that you have are shifting in some way, and your attributed meaning to those things is shifting, right? It's changing in some way, shape or form. As if that wasn't enough, we also have the final Aries eclipse. It's a new moon solar eclipse in the sign of, actually the node will be here, in the sign of Aries. It's the last one in that ninth house. Again, a fresh start to your beliefs, your education, your travel plans. It's a really powerful time to set intentions around personal growth, expanding your horizons, just really thinking about what comes next and how you get there. And for this, you've got the gate 53 and opening, right? A new moon is effectively a new moon eclipse is effectively a new moon on steroids. It's a big beginning. And with the gate 53 and opening, this is about new doors that you didn't even know existed opening up to you, bringing opportunities that you could only have ever dreamed of for yourself in some way. With that said, let me know in the comments how it shapes up. If you would like to study with me, as I said, you can do it either on the live course, or you can even do it at that, oh my gosh, you can do this on the live course, and you can also do it on the, oh my gosh, my brain's gone. Yes, you can do the live course or the recorded course, completely up to you. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic month. Let me know how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.